Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to thank you for inviting me to celebrate National Philanthropy Day with you. I think that giving is the only real way to make a difference during our lifetime. Most people come to realize this, but often it is much later in life when things have slowed down and the help that that person could have given cannot be maximized. My goal is for the light bulb to go off when kids are young so that they have the opportunity to spend their whole lives making a difference. This is why, 2 years ago, my sister Beverly and I started an organization called Kids Want to Help. I was 12 and Beverly was 9, and by that time we had realized that kids didn't have a powerful voice in fundraisers that were offered to us. We could participate, but we were never in a position to make decisions, like how we would raise the money and where that money would go. So we decided to create an organization where kids could do the fundraising. We talked about it, and we decided that we wanted to have a fashion show to raise money for pediatric leukemia patients and their families. Our first hurdle was getting our parents' consent. At first, they just didn't really get the feel of it. They said it would be a lot of work and it would be really hard. But once they saw that Beverly and I had called local event centers to find out the prices for group events and the number of people that they could fit, that's when they realized that we were going to do the work while they would be the assistants, as my mom calls it. Once our parents were on board, we started planning the fashion show. When my mom, Beverly, and I talked about it, we decided that we could really do a lot more with this than just hold a fashion show. Girls start to feel the effects of peer pressure in 4th grade, and it gets worse by the time they reach 7th grade. Sometimes they hang out with certain people because they think it's the popular thing to do. But making the decision on who to like and who to hang out with based on the popular choice is not very smart. Girls should choose their friends based on who has similar values to them and to their families, and basically, actually who they really like, not who they think they should like. So we decided that as part of the fashion show, we would have a pre-fashion show workshop the week before. At the workshop, we would teach the girls not only how to model, but also how to resist negative peer pressure and why it is so important to give back to your community. The theme of the fashion show was "To be beautiful, you have to be yourself." But the workshop and the fashion show were sold out events, and at the fashion show we raised over $11,000. Thank you. And because of the success of our first fashion show, we decided to make it an annual event. We have now had our 2nd and 3rd fashion shows and raised $25,000 more for pediatric leukemia patients and their families. At all of our fashion shows, we have a keynote speaker. In 2008, our speaker was Dr. Terry Fontham, the National President of the American Cancer Society, and this past year, our speaker was Carolyn Chassie. Both of them talked about social responsibility and the importance of starting young. But between our first fashion show and our 2nd fashion show, we started another organization called the Lemonade Brigade. For Kids Want to Help to really accomplish what we intended, giving kids an opportunity to raise money for charities and then make the decisions about where they want the money from their fundraisers to go, we needed to add a 2nd fundraiser to Kids Want to Help so that kids could get involved in fundraising at all levels. We also wanted to have a fundraiser that boys could participate in. We realized one day that Beverly and I made a lot of money from our lemonade stands. We had a lemonade stand to raise money for a wig for a friend of ours, Madeline Egan, who was going to lose her hair through a bone marrow transplant. We decided to expand on this idea, and the Lemonade Brigade was born. Through the Lemonade Brigade, we found a way to give kids an opportunity to have fundraisers and give the money from their fundraiser to a charity that they chose. The idea was to empower kids with the ability to run a business by themselves and then make their own decisions about where the money from their business will go. The Lemonade Brigade kicks off with a Young Business Owners Workshop in the spring, where we have all different types of topics to teach the kids how to become young business owners. Some of these topics are marketing, interviewing, fiscal responsibility, creative ideas or businesses that kids can run by themselves, and this past year we had high school and college age students talk about what it is like to start your own business before you are grown up. Once the kids become young business owners, we have several charities come and present what they do and who they help to the kids. And then they have an opportunity to ask questions so that they can make an informed decision about where they want their money to go. Then, all summer long, the kids raise money for the charity that they chose at the workshop. The Lemonade Brigade has been very successful, and one of the reasons for our success has been the input we get from our Lemonade Brigade members. After the first year, we wanted to give kids who were very active in the first year's Lemonade Brigade an opportunity to help us make the second year even better. So 10 active members of the 2008 Lemonade Brigade joined the 2009 Planning Committee and voiced their ideas. We were able to implement some of those ideas this year. Also, the Lemonade Brigade went international this year when a Canadian team joined. At our end of the summer award ceremony, this Canadian team won the award for most money raised at one lemonade stand. Not only do they have the most money at one lemonade stand out of all of our teams, but they also got matching funds from Nexen, an oil company. It has now been about 2 years since we started Kids Want to Help, and a lot has happened since then. Kids Want to Help, our name, is now a registered trademark, and we are a 501c3 certified organization. And in 2008, we were chosen by Mrs. Supriya Jindal and Special Olympics Louisiana as Charitable Organization of the Year at the Leaders of Tomorrow banquet. And through Kids Want to Help, kids in our community have raised $52,905 and donated it to 15 different causes. But we have stayed true to our original plan. Kids Want to Help is still an organization that gives kids an opportunity to raise money for charities while helping them realize that they really can make a difference. We hope that making a difference in the lives of other people will help give kids the confidence to do the right thing even when it's not the most popular thing to do. Some of you may want to know what it's like to start your own nonprofit before you're a grown-up. I think that some things have been easier for me and some things have been a little harder. What has been easy for me is tapping into a group of committed teenagers who are willing to commit their time to helping at our workshops. I am a member of Amplify Youth. We are a group of teenagers who make a commitment to be drug and alcohol-free throughout our high school years. We make presentations at local high schools, junior highs, and middle schools to raise awareness about Amplify Youth and to spread the message about living a drug and alcohol-free life. The members of Amplify Youth are great role models, and Kids Want to Help is very fortunate to be able to use this resource. Another thing that has been hard for me is time management. During the week, I'm in school till 3:15, and then I have cheerleading practice after school, so I don't get home until around 5:30 or 6. When we started Kids Want to Help, I would spend time on it, but it was in concentrated periods. And now that I'm a little busier, I have to spend time at night after homework and on the weekends. And now that Kids Want to Help is a year-round commitment, it takes a little bit more effort throughout the year. Of course, I'm in school, so it makes it harder for me to make calls during business hours, and so to stay organized, I usually make a lot of lists. Another thing that has been hard, but that has been a challenge I have enjoyed, is giving adults a new perspective on what kids can accomplish. In each of our fundraisers, there are initially a couple of parents who are a little skeptical about my ability to lead simply because of my age. But I am very proud to say that in every one of these instances, they are completely on board with what Kids Want to Help does once they see what their kids and I can do once we put our minds to it. I hope that this new enlightenment translates into a newfound respect for their children and a new perspective on what kids can accomplish when they work hard in fundraising and elsewhere. There are a lot of roadblocks in life for people of all ages, but being able to keep your plans fluid will help solve a lot of problems and alleviate a lot of unnecessary stress. I went to the presidential inauguration this past February and had the opportunity to hear Eric Weinmayer speak. Eric Weinmayer is the first blind man to reach all the 7 summits. And he talked about how determination can make things happen, even when the odds are against you, and especially the importance of a backup plan. My parents have always taught me the importance of a plan B, and this has helped me in many circumstances. Even with the challenges, being inspired to do something that you really want to will help carry you through. I want to make sure that kids have a voice, that they're able to accomplish something without being told how to do it, and that ultimately they realize that they actually can make a difference. This is what keeps me motivated. I think that what we're doing through Kids on Help is really starting to make a difference. After our first fashion show, one of the moms emailed us and told us this. Thank you for this awesome experience. Megan has spoken so much about all that she learned during the workshop Saturday and is really looking forward to the fashion show. This is really huge for her as she is quite a shy child. I know that the feeling of giving to a worthy cause has motivated her to step out. Then, after our second fashion show, one of the models told her mom that she wished our workshop could be a week-long camp. This is the kind of feedback that keeps you going. Because underwriting is such an important part of our success, I'd like to touch on it for a minute. Underwriting is something that most nonprofits need and sometimes struggle with. We have worked hard to recruit underwriting for the Lemonade Brigade, for all of our activities and our supplies. This is how we make sure that 100% of what the kids raise goes directly to the charities that they chose. Honda of Covington is our largest underwriter. They became a platinum sponsor of the Lemonade Brigade right from the beginning, and we are very appreciative of their faith in our ability to succeed and their contributions. It is definitely true that some giving has profound results. A huge heart and large sums of money can solve problems on a global scale, but most of us are just trying to make a difference here locally in our own community. The first time that I realized Kids on Help had made a difference in the life of someone else was less than a year after our first fundraiser, the fashion show to help raise money for pediatric leukemia patients and their families. One of our models was 7-year-old Madeline Egan. Some of you may have known her. When I invited Madeline to model, her mother told me what a huge deal this would be for her and that it may be the highlight of her life. Soon after I invited Madeline to model, she learned that her leukemia had returned and she would be needing a bone marrow transplant. However, Madeline asked her doctors to put off the bone marrow transplant until after the fashion show. Madeline did model, and she and her parents and her family had a great time at the fashion show. But only 7 months later, Madeline passed away. At her wake, her parents displayed several objects that had been important to her, and one of those objects was her fashion show trophy. And that's when it really hit home. Sometimes you can make a difference in the life of someone else without intending it to have a great impact. And the end result is that it was important, and it did matter. So you have to keep trying, again and again, even with little things, because sometimes you'll hit a home run. So to sum it all up, what I have learned during these past 2 years about giving is that giving, really giving, and doing it right, takes a lot of hard work, but the investment is worth every second of the time. Thank you very much.